Hello everyone, I hope all of you are safe and healthy at home during this lockdown. And since the last video with what's in my bag was so popular and I have gotten this new bag, I thought I'd make a little what's in my camera bag video. And because I need the camera that I'm filming at the moment to show you what's inside this backpack, let's switch to my phone and continue everything shooting on this phone, the Oneplus 7 Pro with the anamorphic Moment lens. Alright, everything that you see now is all shot on my phone, which is the Oneplus 7 Pro, and I'm using Moment lenses. At the moment you can see the anamorphic Moment lens, and full disclosure, Moment gave me these lenses to review and to check out. But all of my opinions are my own, and as you know from all of my reviews, I like to showcase all of the negatives opposed to the positives, because I assume that you already know all the positives. But this is not a review of the Moment lenses yet. I'm just going to shoot everything on these lenses and on my phone, because obviously my main camera is in this bag to showcase what's in my camera bag. And the bag that I'm using at the moment is the Moment Slingbag, the Moment Camera Slingbag. This is also not a review yet, because I'm just starting to use this bag. Before I start using this bag, or before I start reviewing this bag, I just want to give you a little bit of background how I usually carry my camera gear, or how I used to carry my camera gear. As a freelance film editor, many years before, I also shot a lot of still photography, lots of fashion, people photography and stuff like that. For that, I always had these big DSLRs. I used the Nikon D7000, the Fuji S5 Pro, which are all DSLR cameras, and I had the 24-70 f2.8 lenses, and those lenses and those cameras were really big, and I used the Think Tank Streetwalker Pro HD camera backpack, also a really heavy camera bag. And what I realized back then was, when the camera is really big and all of the equipment is really heavy, I kind of get a little bit lazy and all of the gear stays basically at home. So once I moved from stills photography to videography and started filming, I've gotten into getting mirrorless camera. The first one was the GH4, I think, no, GH5. That's a 4/3 chip. So it was a DSLR form factor, but still a little bit bulky. And then I moved to the camera that we will see in a minute, which is a little bit smaller. Yeah, long story short, when the camera gear is too heavy, too big, and it's too much, I kind of tend to leave that equipment at home. That's pretty lazy, I know, and so I reduced all my camera gear, and up to now I just threw all my camera gear inside my regular backpack. But with this sling bag, I feel like that this form factor is actually pretty cool to protect my camera gear and just throw this sling bag as a camera cube into my backpack. I'm not sure yet if that's something I will actually do in the future, but I want to try it out. So starting from now, I will review the sling bag, and at the moment I can say I really like the build quality and the form factor, and all of the stuff that I usually carry around me and that I usually just carelessly throw into my everyday carry backpack fits in here quite well. This is the 6-liter version, and yeah, let's go into the bag and look what I have inside. Alright, let's start with the quick access compartment in the front. Because it is a quick access compartment, I store inside the item that needs to be accessed quickly, which is the batteries. I like to number all of my batteries so I can easily go from 1 to 5. I have 5 batteries. The camera that I'm using eats batteries really quickly. And what I also like to do is put these rubber hair bands around batteries. This indicates to me that if there is a rubber band on there, this is fully charged. If there's no rubber band around the battery, this battery is empty. For me, it's really quickly to see which battery I can easily grab and use. Obviously, I could do it the other way around, so basically have a rubber band on the empty one and no rubber band on the full ones. But if you're shooting quickly, you don't want to fiddle around and put a rubber band on the empty battery. So it's easier just to throw the empty battery in the quick access compartment and then take off the rubber band off the fully charged battery. Obviously, you could put into this quick access pocket your keys, where there is a little carabiner also, or your wallet. However, I think when I'm grabbing batteries quickly, I don't want to accidentally pull out my wallet and then lose it in the heat of the moment. So yeah, this compartment is only for the batteries. Underneath you have tripod straps. However, I like to use this, or I plan to use this on my motorcycle, and I don't want to have a tripod hanging on this and potentially falling off, and yeah, I'm not noticing that the tripod is lost. So I'm not using these at the moment. Going into the main compartment, speaking of tripod, I have this little tripod. This is actually the bottom part of the DJI Ronin SC gimbal, and I just used this together with a ball head and a Manfrotto quick release mount to basically vlog. I used to have a Gorilla Pod, however the Gorilla Pod is a little bit bulky and has a lot of corners and stuff like that, so it's not as easily to pack, and this is actually a little bit lighter and easier to grab, and yeah, easier to pack. So that's the first thing, speaking of tripod. Let's continue with the top zipper part. Inside here there are a couple of slots, and in these slots I store the Rode Wireless Go lav mic. These are great on the go. I'm currently using the Rode lav mic, which is pretty bulky, so I like to have these when I'm on the go. You could store also filters in here, like ND filters. However, I like to keep the ND filters on the lenses. Then we have a little shotgun mic, which I rarely use because the lav mic is pretty sufficient, but if I have to record like opening zipper sounds and stuff like that, then this is actually pretty good on the go. The first lens that I can show you is the Sony 16 to 50mm kit lens. Usually kit lenses have the reputations of not being that great, but I feel like that this is a really good recommendation. You can get this lens. Due to this reputation of not being a great lens, you can get it used for around 100 to 150 euros, which is relatively cheap for what it can do. All my videos are shot with this. It's not the sharpest and not the best in terms of optical image quality, but it's so small. I have attached this fader ND on here, and it's basically always on the lens. It's very small, it's optically stabilized, it's a great lens for traveling, for stills photography, and for vlogging and YouTube in general. I can highly recommend to get this lens as a first lens. But this is just a 16mm lens, so if you are vlogging, the framing is pretty tight. So I would recommend, and this is my favorite lens, which is the 10 to 18 f4 lens. This is a wide angle lens, and so it's really good for vlogging, and I love to keep this lens on here. It is obviously bigger than the kit lens, but it's still fairly small. And the lens is attached to my main camera, or the only camera that is, which is why I'm filming on my phone at the moment. This is the Sony a6300. It's a mirrorless camera. It's a great camera. I can highly recommend this camera. There's already a successor to this camera, which is the A6400 or the A6000 6600, which are great cameras. I would love to upgrade, but this camera is working fine. And the only downside to this camera is that it can overheat. I attach on the top of this camera a small rig camera. It's not a cage, because a cage would go around the camera, but it's a little metal frame that adds 2 extra cold shoes. And with these cold shoes you can actually attach the Rode Wireless Go mic and have it on here like so. And then you have a pretty cool setup in which you could use the lav mic on you, or if you are on the go and you don't have the shotgun mic with you, you can attach the lav mic on this shoe and then have basically a microphone attached to the camera for vlogging, or if you maybe have an interview and the person stands right next to you and you want pick up the general area in front of the camera instead of just having the mic on you. And for that, this is really cool. And if you want to have your shotgun mic, the hot shoe on the camera is still free. Then you just detach the mic cable from the lav mic and then put the microphone on the hot shoe. And as mentioned, this is my only camera, and to show you this bag I obviously need to film on my phone. And for that I really always wanted to check out the Moment lenses, because as mentioned, I'm lazy. I don't like to carry around a camera, a heavy camera, and I was always intrigued by the thought of filming with the phone, but yeah, I was always missing some different angles. The Oneplus 7 Pro and many of the newer phones have 2 or 3 lenses on the phone itself. Usually a standard lens, a wide lens, and a tele lens. But on the Oneplus, the compression and the image quality on the wide lens isn't that great. So having a different lens that you can attach on the phone to give you a wider perspective or give you a tele perspective while keeping the image quality and the megapixel and the bitrate of the main lens of the phone is a huge plus. So I test these, or I will start to review these Moment lenses. I have the 18mm wide lens. The anamorphic lens is currently shooting. I have the 58 tele lens and the 14mm fisheye. However, I don't think that I will use the 14mm fisheye lens that often. It's a quite unique look, but it's not something that I would use often. Yeah, let me know in the comments below, how do you like the look of this anamorphic lens and the image quality of the Oneplus 7 Pro? How do you like this? I feel like that this will give me a lot of flexibility when I'm on the outside shooting and reviewing these bags. Because another thing that adds to me being lazy and carrying around camera gear is that I'm still very shy when it comes down to filming outside or in front of people. And I feel like holding a big camera in front of myself and talking to the camera, I'm not feeling very comfortable about that. And I assume that having just the phone in front of me with those lenses potentially will make it easier to vlog outside. And yeah, that's something that I want to test out in the future with these lenses. Okay, back to the main camera. First and foremost, how did you like the look of the Oneplus 7 Pro together with the anamorphic Moment lens? I haven't reviewed this footage yet, so I'm really curious to see what it looks like. Yeah, let me know in the comment section below, how do you like the look of a phone filming on a Moment lens. Review is coming soon of the lenses, and obviously also review about this sling bag. My first impressions is I really like the material and the overall build quality. Everything fits inside very well, and I feel like everything is very well protected, and I plan on using this on my motorcycle when I'm taking shots and filming. That being said, I'm still not 100% convinced that I'm not too lazy. Because as mentioned, if a camera is not easily to get, or if it's too heavy, I usually get a little bit lazy and don't tend to grab the camera. Having a sling bag on one hand makes it easier to get to the camera, but on the other hand, as a backpack reviewer, I obviously have a backpack with me, and usually it's easier to just throw the camera into that specific bag. So I'm not sure yet if I will use this bag for, let's say, for reviewing bags that often. But if I'm just walking around with a camera and I want to film stuff, or I'm being on a motorcycle, then I think that this is a great solution. But as I said, more on that in the review. But for now, I think this is a really interesting and well-made bag. All of these Moment lenses are also really interesting for someone who is this lazy to carry around camera gear. Those lenses are very intriguing, and I can see myself at least carrying those lenses with me on a day-to-day basis, because I can easily film bag reviews if I'm on the go. For traveling, these are probably awesome instead of carrying around a big camera. So I'm really interested to review the footage that I have just shot on this phone, and I'm really looking forward to do the final review of those lenses. The first negative thing that I can say about Moment lenses is that the cases for attaching the lens to your phone, they are pretty bulky. They add a lot of heft and volume to the very slim phone that we have nowadays. It's not that bad and not that bulky, but it does add, I would say, about 5 millimeters of thickness to the phone. And yeah, that is a little bit noticeable inside your pockets. But I think the benefits of being able to attach lenses to your phone outweigh the negatives. But the review for those lenses will be online soon as well. So yeah, that was this little, I think not little, it's probably pretty long, what's in my camera bag video. Let me know in the comment section below what's in your camera bag. And like always, if you have any more questions, also comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, click the like button. And please feel free to subscribe to my channel and click that little bell icon so you won't miss next videos. Stay safe, stay healthy, and yeah, see you next time. Thank you very much.